What's up, internet? Today's gonna be a good day. Why is that? Because the Gen 1 is getting upgraded again. The fact that we're still getting new mods in 2025 for such an old truck is absolutely epic. And I run the Tesfeel carbon fiber steering wheel in my Gen 2 Raptor. That is one of the best mods you could possibly do. At first, I was a little apprehensive on an Amazon carbon fiber steering wheel. I didn't think it was gonna make that big of a difference. Yes, it does. But anyways, on that note, Tesfeel didn't make one for the first gen Raptor, so I purchased one off eBay. Now this one off of eBay, it's cool, I like it. It definitely is 100 times better than the OEM steering wheel. It just adds a whole different element when driving this thing. The only thing that I didn't particularly care for is the fact that it's not real carbon fiber. It's just I think it's a hydro dipped carbon fiber. So it kind of has that fake look, but I will say that this is still quite the upgrade from your OEM one. Then I got an email from Tesfeel saying the steering wheels are shipping. They're gonna be on Amazon here soon. And I couldn't have been more pumped because there's a couple reasons why I prefer the Tesfeel steering wheel over this eBay one, and I'm gonna show you guys. First things first, let's undo the negative terminal on your battery, so then that way we can pull the airbag off. We're going for the one-hander again. I've been training, guys. I think I can do it. Oh, I think I almost got it. I got it. Little 8mm action. Just get it out of the way. And honestly, it's not that bad to replace the steering wheel. If you guys just follow this tutorial, I'm gonna show you everything you need to do so it makes life simple. Because some of these other steering wheel installation videos, they're not transparent enough. Step number 2, we need to remove this airbag, and it couldn't be more simple. Right behind the steering wheel, there is a hole right here. And on the opposite side, in the same exact spot, there's another hole. And then there's just one more on the bottom side. And what I figured out with removing this airbag, do the bottom first, then your sides. With my steering wheel now positioned so I have access to the bottom one first, we're gonna take a little Allen wrench. I wanna say I use like a size 2 or 2.5. I think before I used the 3/32 possibly. You're just trying to find one that just fits perfectly. Okay, so it's in there. Now we've got this guy in here. And all you're doing is you're trying to listen to the metal on metal contact. Hear it? Now just push. Okay, that's simple. That just released the bottom part of it. Now I've turned the steering wheel back to normal position. We've got the hole over here. If you hear the metal on metal, there it is, push. Okay, now that side just popped. Now I've spun the steering wheel 180 degrees just to get access to the last one. Push it in, hear the click. I went ahead and just made sure that the steering wheel is back in its normal position. Airbag is completely free, so all you'll do is you'll just pick it up and you're gonna flip it. There's just 3 connections you gotta undo, here, and this guy. And these are color coordinated, so when you unplug these, you're gonna know this black one goes into the spot that's black, and the gray one's gonna go back into the gray one. All you gotta do is just use your fingers, basically, and it'll pop right out. So you can see that one's got a black spot, that one's got a gray. And this guy right here, this little connector, there's a piece you can push. Sometimes I can get it with my hand, but then sometimes I have to use just a little precision screwdriver to push this little button in, and it'll slide right out. And just like that, airbag's free, takes a whopping 2 minutes. Next, we need to remove this metal plate, so it's 4 T20s. Let's go ahead and unplug this main harness right here. You just push, pops right out. This one right here, you don't have to worry about it. Just leave this plugged in. The steering wheel will just slide off and these will stay in place. The only thing we need to do next is our main bolt that bolts the steering wheel on. It is a T50. Now I'm gonna have to put the camera down, but what I do is I just put my knees on the steering wheel, hold it, break it loose. That should now make this free. Just slide it right off. See, now that we have them both side by side, you can just see, here's the eBay one, here's the Tesfeel one, and see how this just has that like shine, like it's just been like broken really good for some years, and this don't. That's what I'm saying. This just looks better, it feels better. So that's why I'm really excited to switch this out, just because I think this just has a more natural, better feeling grip, to where this just kind of bugs me. We need to now remove our little volume buttons and like our cruise control stuff. So I'm just gonna take a screwdriver and just kind of pop it out on this back side. These plastic covers do remove on this steering wheel because it is aftermarket and it comes with those. So this will make it a little easier. But if you don't have that, literally just take a flathead screwdriver on the back side of your buttons and basically just start to like pry them out. And you can see it's just literally 2 pieces that just push into there. And now we'll do the same side. I'll see if I can just leave that plastic piece on the cover. We've got our controls both freed up. This harness is just kind of like pushed in there. So I think last time before I just kind of used a screwdriver, popped it out. I think there's even on the back side, there's a little spot, yeah, right here, where you can just kind of hit this guy out. So now that's free. Take your T20, take this ground off. And now our whole harness is free. At this point, there's only 3 things left, T20, T20, and that's gonna take the little plastic piece on the backside off, and then we need to swap this rubber piece over. The rubber piece is kind of a little difficult, but once I show you what I do, makes it easy. So for sure the easy part is taking this off, but it's reinstalling it into the new one that gets a little difficult. And that's just because these 4 little rubber nubs have to get pushed up in there. So I'm gonna take my little precision screwdriver and just kind of push these in. That one's pushed down in, pushed in. Simple enough. We've already got the old steering wheel stripped. That was simple. There's not a lot to it. Let's take our new steering wheel. Let's get everything bolted back on. First things first, let's go ahead and get this plastic cover on. Just snaps in. Those 2 T20s installed. Out of everything that you got to do on this steering wheel, this rubber piece is probably the thing that could give you the most trouble, but I'm going to try to show you guys how I did it last time to make it just a little easier. Go ahead, get it in position. You could try all day long to push this in. You're never going to get it by hand. So flip it. You're going to want to hold it by hand on the underside. And all I did was I started with one, and I basically just got the rubber piece, the little circle piece that needs to come through, just a little sideways. Basically what I'm trying to achieve is I'm just doing one side at a time, and I'm kind of just pushing it over. So it's just kind of out a little bit. You can see I broke just a couple of little rubber pieces off trying to get that on. It is kind of a difficult task. That's the toughest thing, swapping everything over. Now that we have that on, we're pretty much smooth sailing. And since these are molded on and they don't come off, that means we need to undo our buttons. There's just a little push button right here, and that releases it. And then all we'll do is we're just gonna feed the harness through this little joist, plug it back in. And these do fit just a little snug. What I've found to do is don't go from the top, try to push it in from the side. We just need to get this harness plugged back into their spots, so just kind of push it in and it'll click in place. Then go ahead, get this bottom one, click it into place. Take our T20 here, which was our ground. Pretty simple task we have now. Just take this harness, you're gonna feed it through the top up here. Keep this dead center. Go ahead, get this plugged back in up top here. These 3 connections right here are gonna go to the airbag. So all we need to do is reinstall our T50 torque screw. We just now need to get this to 35 foot-pounds of torque. So I'm gonna use this little adapter. I purchased this from Harbor Freight. It works. I don't know how well I actually love it, but let's go ahead and get this thing set for 35 pounds. So there we go. We heard the solid beep. We hit 35 foot-pounds of torque. Last step before putting the airbag on, so we need to get this metal bracket back through. So feed your 3 wires through. 4 of those T20 torques needs to go back in. Take our airbag, hook up our last 3 connections. So what I would do is I'd hook up the one that's a male first, which is on the bottom of the airbag. Then do these next 2 ones, which black goes to the black, gray goes to the gray. Clips in, you can hear it click, just like so. Go ahead and just give it a push right in the center. Locked in. Now, let's get our 8mm reinstalled on the negative and our battery. Airbag didn't deploy, so that's great. Keys, keys, keys. Airbag didn't deploy in our face. That's always great. Let's check our buttons. Buttons are all working. All right, so there's the breakdown of the new Tesfeel steering wheel for the Gen 1 Raptor. This is also gonna fit into a 12th Gen F150 as well. I know some of you guys have been dropping comments on the status of the Tesfeel steering wheel. So you can finally pick one of these up off of Amazon. The cool thing is, like I said, is there is one that comes with the blue center stripe, and it's also got blue stitching as well. I went with the red because I just feel like red is the accent colors that go with the Raptors, but maybe you guys are doing something different. I'm really curious to see what the blue one looks like. I think either one you can't go wrong with. And the price point this is, plus not to mention they usually give you some sort of coupon to clip on Amazon. This thing is like the perfect upgrade to transform your interior. Plus, I'm just telling you, it makes a huge difference driving. For just an hour of your time, swap your steering wheel out and it'll give you a whole different experience while driving your truck. If you guys have any questions, hit me down in the comments.